Go.
All right, guys, and we are back after, man, what an exciting game. Arguably the most exciting game of this whole entire tournament. That is just the back and forth. You thought it was over, and then CLG just kept pulling it back. Amazing. But now we're on to game three, 1-1, best of three. So this is the game that decides it all. Who's going to go to the final and who's going to go into the losers brackets final. Oh man, both teams showing just the form right now is just amazing. Both teams executing their strategies amazingly well. But let's get over this game. We got Chen and Anti-Mage being banned by Complexity, and Shadow Shaman and Darkseer this time being banned. So CLG taking that out, and Invoker first pick on Complexity. I'm excited to see me some Invoker.
I hope I'm excited to see me some Invoker. I feel like Invoker is one of the most one-sided heroes. I used to love watching him in Dota 1, but so far in Dota 2, basically every time I've seen him, the team that's had him has won. So hopefully it'll be at least a little more balanced in this regard, because CLG was able to pick up Furion and Windrunner in counter picks. Obviously very quick picks, so they knew the Invoker pick would be first, and they knew exactly what they would be taking in response. But yeah, Invoker is an exciting hero to watch when he gets a few more abilities than just Tornado, Cold Snap, and EMP as the game progresses.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of note about the lag. Sorry about that, guys. I know a lot of people were experiencing lag towards the end of the game. We talked to our cameraman. Everything's fine. I know it's cleared up since then. So we talked to Twitch TV, and we got it all resolved. So hopefully it doesn't go back to that. But be sure we pay attention to the chat. So if you guys want to let us know what's happening, if the lag, something going on, be sure to let us know. We try and pay attention, and we'll try and fix it as much as we can on our end. But the picks coming out, like you said, Nature's Prophet, Windrunner, very fast pick. Obviously, Invoker, first pick, loving it. At least I love watching it. I hate him in game. Like, I really just the hero is just so incredibly unique and obnoxious and powerful as all hell. But watching him is amazing. I love commentating on games, and it looks like we're going to see some big support heroes being picked up. Venomancer and Vengeful Spirit, arguably the top two support heroes right now. We still have Enchantress somewhere in the pool as well for the jungler, since Chen is banned. We'll have to see if somebody wants to pick that up, but right now, Complexity already really well set up for their typical 3-1-1 tri-lane. They have two of the strongest support heroes for it, so we'll have to see what CLG runs to counter this.
Yeah, if CLG is going to pick up Enchantress, right now is the pick to do it, because then they'll have two bans afterwards. They can ban the Doom if they are afraid of Complexity doing what they did to them in the Premier League with the Doom to counter the Enchantress. So if they were going to go for the Enchantress, I would expect to see it now. But no, instead going to go for the Mirana, afraid of that getting banned out again and not making it into the later picks. Really wanting to have that carry in the tri-lane top, or well, not necessarily, maybe not a tri-lane if they do end up picking up the Enchantress for the jungle, but a jungle +2 or something. Yeah, kind of interesting to see the Mirana that early, though. I felt like the Enchantress is a little bit stronger, and yeah, the Sand King ban is going to come out, so there's not going to be any Mirana Sand King lane going on here. And yeah, I don't know, what do you think about that Mirana pick?
I like it. I mean, hopefully they have much more success with the Mirana pickup over the Weaver. I mean, Weaver just got dumped on. Complexity did a very good job keeping down the Weaver. I like the Mirana pick. I mean, she's versatile, and she's obviously a really good semi-carry slash carry if she gets enough farm. I like the bans coming out so far. Broodmother being banned to stop that big push coming up. Complexity has the Invoker, which is obviously a great setup for pushes and counter pushes. Just pretty much kind of destroying support heroes. Anyone with mana, really, before a fight even occurs is so rough. So we have that. So now Broodmother being banned, and they do have Nature's Prophet, so they are going to have control of those counter pushes. Nature's Prophet has no one to counter with. Sand King being banned on the Complexity team. I like it. I mean, they're not going to be picking him up, and obviously we saw the power of the Sand King in last game. But other than that, I don't know. I mean, what are the final bans going to be banned here? I mean, do you see? Are we going to see another Skeleton King pick up on Complexity? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't see why they wouldn't pick up Skeleton King if they. I mean, it's a hero that they're comfortable running. I don't really see why they would deviate from that. Instead, going for some other. I mean, there's a possibility maybe if Slardar with the negative armor with Vengeful Spear, and Slardar being a very popular mid-game carry, kind of in the same vein as the Skeleton King, except getting the blink instead of the Force Staff. So that's a possibility. But I think the Skeleton King is probably the most likely candidate. Also, Void pretty good when you have an Invoker. Invoker being good at setting up the Void ults with the tornadoes, and obviously the Void ult being good in conjunction with the EMP. CLG actually banning out the Doom, even though Enchantress was banned, and they're not going to have Chen, so I don't know about that one. I guess maybe, I mean, Complexity did actually run Doom in a game where there was no Enchantress or Chen on the other team when they won in the winners bracket. No, this is the winners bracket semifinals. So when they won, or no, this is the winners bracket finals. So yeah, when they won the winners bracket semifinals, they ran Doom. So maybe they're just kind of more a fan of the Doom now than most other teams have been recently, and CLG just doesn't want to have to deal with that. Especially when you have Windrunner and Mirana, two heroes that need their escape mechanisms. Doom really shutting that down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you've got so many squishies, really glass cannons is pretty much what all of them are. Yeah, Doom can just absolutely destroy them, but instead another hero that can destroy them just like a Doom can, Beastmaster being picked up on Complexity. Of course, once he hits level 6, the ganking mechanism is just a really long 800, I believe, range on that stun. It's really hard to get back in time, and Beastmaster's initiating with that stun, throwing the axes, allowing other stuns to follow up. Beastmaster just being a really great single target ganking hero that can just absolutely destroy heroes like all the squishies on CLG so far. I mean, if we get some farm on CLG, we're gonna see them really doing well. Once they get that basic survivability and some good damage, all three of them are going to be having enough versatility and enough damage to really do work on Complexity's team. It's just the thing to watch out for is Invoker. Invoker pretty much the only intelligence hero that just keeps getting stronger throughout the game, even past 16. Really, Invoker, I was talking about, I can't remember who it was I was talking to him about this, but Invoker is pretty much just the late game, just destruction that he amounts. It's just so hard, and the biggest way to shut down an Evoker is what he said is to really try and push the early game and limit his farm as much as possible. And if you can keep him down from those levels in the late game, you'll be fine. But you really have to push some serious pressure and ganks in the early to mid game in order to shut him down. Otherwise, when you start getting into those team fights, he's going to be way too powerful. With things like EMP and Tornado and Deafening Blast, all those abilities, which are really great disables, great AoE disables, they're just way too powerful in team fights to let him alone. So we'll have to see how CLG identifies that. The only real pushes they have are Nature's Prophet right now. So right now, unless they pick up another pusher, they're set up for mid to late game fights, as Juggernaut being picked up on Complexity. Juggernaut, a carry that I have not seen in, I don't know, weeks. It's been a while since I saw a Juggernaut pickup.
Yeah, occasionally I've seen the Juggernaut. I can't remember what team it was that run it. I think it was I'm pretty sure it was Navi, because they're usually the ones doing crazy strats. With the Juggernaut Soul Ring, using the Healing Ward with a push strat like with Chen. But other than that, yeah, don't see him very often at all, and I don't see necessarily the synergy in that regards here. So they're pretty much just running him because they feel that it'll be a strong lane. I presume they're going to try lane him probably bot, tri-lane him bot, and then have the Invoker mid and the Beastmaster top. But it's possible they'll tri-lane top, since the Juggernaut with two range supports is probably going to be stronger than anything CLG can throw up there. Maybe they'll feel comfortable enough to give the Beastmaster the bot solo, which will be a little bit easier for him. And yeah, Crystal Maiden picked up. Crystal Maiden was pretty much the obvious pick left at that point, the only real support, strong support that's popular left. I mean, Dazzle is played by a few teams, but mostly AL, and usually in conjunction with something like a Broodmother, so it was pretty likely that Crystal Maiden was going to get picked up there, especially because you want that Frostbite to set up the Mirana arrow. So I guess the one thing is, when you play against an Invoker, usually you really want to dual lane mid, because Invoker is just such a strong mid solo. It's really difficult to fight against him. He has such an amazing last hit or attack animation for last hitting, denying, and harassing, and it's really difficult to harass him back because the Quas which he's going to have early on is going to give him that regen. But I'm not really sure how I see them setting up a dual lane here. I'm pretty sure they're going to have to send a solo mid, and I think it's probably going to have to be Furion, which I don't know. I think that should definitely favor Invoker in the mid.
Yeah, something to look out for is the fact that Juggernaut, on top of the fact that he really counters a lot of this squishy glass cannon style very, very well. Obviously, he just has an insane amount of DPS throughout the early to mid game with both Blade Fury and Omni Slash. Omni Slash and Blade Fury, both in this tri lane, are just gonna absolutely just destroy a Windrunner if she ever gets caught out. She does get a 50% increase movement speed bonus, which is then countered by a Venomancer 50% movement speed slow by Venom Scale, and then on top of that, a stun getting Geo close enough. Once Juggernaut has boots, really Pino is going to have a really hard time farming. Now, it is nice the fact that he is going to be top, so he does have his tower to contend with, but he ever gets caught out by any sort of ganks, he's going to be really hurting, and once he starts going downhill, it's only going to get worse because Geo, once he has Omni Slash, there's really no real hope for Windrunner. He's just going to be taking all that damage anyway, and no matter how fast he runs, he's not going to be able to get away. So, tri-lane versus tri-lane, really question is who's going to be doing better. I mean, Hannah, melee hero versus pretty much an arrow plus 2 slows combo is going to be tough, but both of them are just going to be fighting for experience as much as possible. Really question is who's going to crush their tri lane harder, and also who's going to be ganking mid better. Both Tidehunter and Crystal Maiden very good at ganking middle, excuse me. And from bottom lane, obviously, you're in a very good position to get behind middle. But the same goes for the Venomancer and Vengeful Spirit combo. Vengeful Spirit actually picking up a double damage at top. So right away, it looks like IX Mike is going to be setting himself up for some decent ganks. He has the ward in, so they're going to have vision of Pycat in middle on Nature's Prophet. But I think it's a bigger, personally, I would say Complexity just really needs to crush Windrunner as hard as possible. Invoker, obviously, best solo mid. I mean, there's just nothing you can do. You can't harass him at all because Haas is pretty much a free ring of regen and a free ring of health later on once he gets a couple levels. But CLG already setting themselves up with a smoke, trying to put a stop to the Invoker farm. He's level 2. He does have Cold Snap. But if these two heroes... really, just Pycat is just not getting the experience he needs right away. If he had gotten level 2, but unfortunately Invoker is just taking it. And both teams, look at them. They're setting up for the ganks in middle. They're setting them up, they're setting them up, they're setting them up. Complexity is shown, so they're going to back up. But they do have pings. They know CLG is right behind. So it looks like Vengeful Spirit, Fluff, and IX Mike are going to bring the fight to this Tidehunter and Crystal Maiden. We'll have to see how this little exchange goes. I don't see anybody dying. Actually, they're going to circle behind right as CLG tries to go forward. Ake's going to get caught out. Only the Tidehunter's going to go on TC. The slow comes out, helping TC as much as possible. Pycat going to have to sprout in a little bit, but it's not going to be enough damage. And Ake comes back in. Miscommunication. He comes back in thinking Pycat was going to try and hit a sprout and finish off TC, but the ring, the regen is just way too much on TC. So an early lead comes out for Complexity, picking up their first blood, and on top of that, on the Invoker, first blood on Invoker, plus all the extra experience he got, it's just, oh man, Pycat's going to be feeling it. He's going to have to work really, really hard on ganking, because pretty much it's an auto win for Invoker middle right now. As I say that, he does work hard, and he is going bottom to try and put a stop to Hannah. He can sprout, the axes are already down. He only has a tree left, but they pick up the kill anyway, so nice counter kill. That is exactly what Pycat needs to do.
But Pinoy is actually caught up top. The Vengeful Spirit stun coming out. Venomous Gale and Jo just barely going to be able to finish off the kill. Aki getting there just a little bit too late. So a nice rebuttal kill on the opposing long lanes, or not long lane, but side lane solo up top.
Yeah, I think this is smart. I mean, CLG, Aki got there a little bit late, like you said, but I really like the fact that CLG is here with that extra bit of slow. If he can go slow off on Geo before he gets up to Pinoy, and force him to blow the Blade Fury a little bit early, he might not get there in time and might not do enough damage. But actually, he's going to jump in on Ake, and Ake is pretty much done for. That's just the power of a Juggernaut. One more hit, 2 more hits actually, and nice Shackle Shot coming out, but the slow does come out from IX Mike, Gale, and so it's too much. But going back to what I was saying, pretty much Loda with the Tidehunter, with Miracle, it was enough to put a stop to Beastmaster. And now that Loda has a level on Beastmaster, I think he's just going to be just fine 1v1. And really, it's at that point where Runner has to have somebody in lane. And it looks like they are going to turn this into a tri-lane now to try and address the farming Juggernaut. Juggernaut with Poor Man's Shield plus boots. It already has a decent farm combined with the kills that he gotten. 1,000 gold lead already for the Radiant, 4 minutes in. This, Complexity is really putting a hurting on CLG really early with their lineup.
Really just completely unfair for Pycat here. Well, he's going to try to set up another gank bottom. Nice shackle shot from Pinoy, rotating down here. Hannah realizes he's dead, so he's just going to come in and try to kill Pycat before he dies, but it's not going to be enough. So Pycat at least doing a good job ganking. Should be close to finishing up. Actually, yeah, it looks like his urn. No, just a health potion. So his urn should be done pretty soon here. But just completely unfair mid against him with that Invoker already having phase boots. Fluff actually is going to probably get a kill on Pycat here. Pycat unfortunately walking straight towards Fluff. Actually just barely not going to be enough. And yeah, the Mirana is going to come over here now, but with the 3 illusions stuck in the Sprout, there's no way she can let out an arrow. So not going to have any luck with that. But yeah, I mean, TC got that from that early first blood, just got the really fast phase boots, and that just gives him such high damage. Even not going an Exort build. I mean, obviously you would expect the Wex Quaz build, or Quaz Wex build, at least early on, Quaz Wex, but eventually Wex Quaz. You know, he's just such an advantage with his attack animation with that high of damage against Furion mids. Furion really didn't have any chance. And so yeah, they have changed the tri-lane up to top now. They tri-lane bottom originally looking to, I guess, go tri-lane against tri-lane, thinking they would have the advantage. And meanwhile, Complexity did the exact same thing, trying to come top. So both teams actually, I think, thought, I was actually wondering, because I feel like Complexity has the stronger tri-lane. Usually a Juggernaut tri-lane is stronger than basically anything you're up against, especially with 2 ranged support. I felt like it was the stronger tri-lane, but I guess with Furion, Counter Logic considers it to be a little bit different. And with Mirana being ranged, it's easier for Mirana to stay up and avoid the Juggernaut spin. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess I thought that CLG was actually going bottom potentially to try dodging the Juggernaut coming top, because they expected the Juggernaut to be top, but I guess both teams just expected the other team to try lane in their easy lane, and so CLG is going to rotate up here.
Yeah, I really agree with CLG. I think their tri lane is stronger at this point, solely because, first of all, Tidehunter, 720 health. You're going to have to blow pretty much everything on that Tidehunter in order to kill him. The only other hero that Juggernaut can really try and kill is Ake on Crystal Maiden. Obviously, 500 health is easily enough to pop him. But he's going to be sitting back enough. So they're going to have to focus everything on Tidehunter when they want to try and get a kill. And honestly, just he's going to live long enough. He's going to get off all his spells. And then on top of that, Mirana's going to be able to get what kills... they're going to be able to pretty much get a counter kill every single time Juggernaut tries to blow a spin. And then after a while, Juggernaut's just not going to have the mana anymore to support it. But Juggernaut, almost level 6 now, is going to change things up quite a bit. It looks like they are going to steal the pull. They did a double pull, which was nice, but in Complexity identifying it, now going to take away a lot of neutral creeps. That's really big. Mirana teleporting middle, I'm not entirely sure if she just... thought Nature's Prophet was in trouble or tried to get an arrow. I wasn't sure. I didn't see it. Yeah,
like Holy said, TC did have haste, but I don't really know. I still don't think that was enough to cause the TP, but I guess she really thought that... Speaking of diving, though, actually, Juggernaut just going to dive Omni Slash straight on the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden just melts, and now the spin on the Tidehunter. Enough to take down Tidehunter as well. Tidehunter's smart enough to throw out a Gush in response, knows he's dead, and it is actually just barely going to get Fluff. Fluff trying to health potion just in time, but just barely not getting to enough health. Meanwhile, Pycat actually comes down bottom trying to set, or I guess defend. I didn't see exactly how he ended up down there, so now he's definitely going to die. Meanwhile, Crystal Maiden coming in the back while Pinoy had to TP out. So Pycat's Treants actually are going to help kill off the Beastmaster with Aki's help in the end there. And meanwhile, Mirana's back in here, but she's not going to be able to do anything. She's just going to have to sit to farming the creeps. Did you see how that started? Was Pycat TPing in for a gank, and then there was the counter TP from the Invoker, or was it the other way around?
TP in from it. TP in from Invoker. Really great job bringing himself teleport scroll, because eventually you got to bring... I mean, that is both advantage and disadvantage.
Miracle is getting dove at the tower again top, so no matter how tanky that Tidehunter might be, if he's by himself, he's still going to get killed. And Jo with, you know, such an early experience lead, easy enough for him to do that. So leaving the Tidehunter top, kind of unfortunate. Mirana is really, I mean, one thing Loda, a lot of people say, I mean, people love Loda, and I think he is a really skilled player, but one thing people say about Loda is that he might spend a little bit too much time farming, and this game he's doing the exact opposite of that. He's actually spending a lot of time TPing around and being active, which I guess you can see with the bottle he picked up. He expected to have more of an early game presence. So like TPing bottom and stuff, but the problem is, when he TPs instead of the Tide, it leaves the Tide to solo, and like Loda would have been able to escape that gank, but Tide not so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the amount of movement they're doing is very nice, but unfortunately it puts their lanes at a really big disadvantage. I mean, it's just really a different in lineups right now. I mean, that's both the advantage and disadvantage of an Invoker is that he crushes his lane so hard, but he doesn't really move around a whole lot. But now, when he has Phase Boots and Force Staff at 9 minutes in, he's able to teleport in for counter ganks very, very easily. And really, TC just won his lane and farmed so well, just too hard. Pycat, you know, he did a great job teleporting and getting ganks and everything, but it wasn't really enough to win lanes so hard to really make it worthwhile. Meanwhile, look at top. Miracle once again is going to go down. Hannah throws an ult. Everything goes down on him, but they are going to pick up a fluff kill on top of that. And on top of that, Pycat teleporting in. So really great reaction by CLG, picking up 3 heroes in exchange for a Tidehunter. Man, really great up by CLG. What a great response. Teleports in on top of that. Pycat getting his teleportation skill off. Really great response by CLG.
Yeah, well, actually, what completely... Oh.
Sorry,
Echo?
just a quick update. Stream's looking good.
Okay, perfect, thanks. Yeah, what actually turned that fight around completely was the beautiful shackle shot from Windrunner. I think at the beginning of the fight it was just level 2 in the skill, but maybe level 3 already, I can't remember. I imagine he gained a level with that fight, so I'm sure it was only level 2. But still, even at level 2, that's a full 4.5 seconds of disable on 2 heroes when he hits 2 heroes like that. And he was able to line it up perfectly with the shackle shot and the power shot from the side, and that was really just what decided that fight for CLG, which is why Windrunner is such a popular pick right now. Shackle shot is just so insane when you hit 2 heroes.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually missed that. Really great job by him. It looks like we're going to see a little bit of push in middle, doing a little bit of damage to the tower. Tower down to 500 health already. Meanwhile, Geo's left alone to try and farm what he can for right now, but he does already have Phase Boots, so just him by himself is a menace. Really, if he sees an opportunity, he could really potentially kill Windrunner, even with Crystal Maiden there. But it looks like the rest of his tri-lane is coming back into lane. Venomancer and Vengeful Spirit ready to rock. So let's see if they can pick up another kill here with Geo's Omni Slash being up.
Geo actually looks like going for drums, which I guess is a reasonable pickup. He already got the Phase Boots for more movement speed to be able to keep up when he's using Blade Fury. Yeah, Blade Fury is what it's called. And drums just for even a little bit more movement speed. Normally you expect to see drums on an Invoker just to completely abuse how much movement speed the Invoker has. Looks like we do have a pause. But I guess since the Invoker was able to get such an insanely fast Force Staff, deciding that they'll have the Juggernaut go for picking up the drums for the team. Yeah, let's see. I guess let's take this second to look if there's any other big item pickups so far. It's pretty early in the game. Pinoy actually going for mech first instead of Force Staff. Reasonable choice. It's always kind of debatable which you want first on your Windrunner, but if there's no other good candidate to pick up the mech for your team, the faster you can get the mech, the better. And other than that, really nothing else, just the Urn finally finished off on the Prophet. Prophet just having a terrible game because of that early first blood, not necessarily on him, but in the mid, and then Invoker getting a huge advantage. Basically, Invoker's actually been sitting in the mid farming, and there's just been no one actually there from CLG. Pycat has been sitting in the woods farming, which is fine for him to do, but you would think they would at least send someone mid, like Loda or something, but just so afraid of that Invoker right now, with how high of a base damage he has, just so difficult for anyone to sit there and farm against him.
Yeah, now that he has level 2, Juggernaut picking up another kill easily on Crystal Maiden, catching her on the side in the jungle. Great awareness by them, but it looks like arrow going off on TC. Can they pick this up? Pycat is running in with the haste. The question is, are they really going to be able to do enough damage with that regen? Regen coming out now on TC. Are they going to shackle shot? No, they're not going to try and trap him down. Fluff teleporting in to help out as well. Man, I'm a little bit surprised they didn't try and get that kill, but I guess they just didn't want to overextend and have teleports mid in. Completely turn around that fight. It's just amazing how much health regen an Invoker has. Early on, it's just so hard to kill him just with auto attacks.
Yeah, well, and also, neither of them had sentries or dust, and you could tell when he switches to the quaz, all he has to do is press one Wex real quick, and then RD, and he's going to be invisible, so there's really no way they would have been able to kill him without some form of detection, and yeah, they didn't want to overextend the counter TPs in and crush them for a kill that there's really difficult for them to get, since they just, I mean, the 5-second arrow is amazing, but they had no follow-up stun, obviously not having Hex on Prophet this early in the game, so...
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like they are going to try and jump on Hannah, actually missing the Starstorm. Now they're trying to get a jump on Hannah. Heal coming out. Oh, man, there comes the Venomous Gale from IX Mike. He's trying to do what work he can to Loda. Loda with no leap is not able to keep the slow. Now Ake is trying to force a fight. Hannah coming in back in with the potion out. Pycat trying to pick up a kill, but more teleports are coming in. Is it
It is the Invoker.
Yes, it is. Invoker coming in, huge disable, Whirlwind landing on Ake, and Ake is going to go get down easily. Now the question is, can they pick up Pycan? Of course they can, with a push stick coming out, push sticking the Juggernaut easily within range. On top of that, Drum of Endurance charge being blown, easily picking up 2 kills. So great response by Complexity, identifying the gank. Beastmaster just being too strong, just 948 health is just too much in order to try and pop him, but Starstorm, my goodness.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous name.
Yeah, yeah. If he had hit that, it would have been good to go. But I'm just trying to keep the ability straight, both from Han, and then on top of that, original Dota names changing since their Warcraft 3 abilities. It's just ridiculous trying to keep track of.
Yeah. As far as that little gank goes, I guess Pycat is I think only level 7 when that started, maybe level 8, so only 1 point in TP. Actually, speaking of Pycat, thinking about the TP, does TP in top. Oh wow, I thought Venomancer actually got the 9 on that tower, but didn't. So TP's in top. They forced the tower, although kind of unnecessary for Pycat to TP when they already got it. But yeah, anyway, I guess maybe his TP was on cooldown, I didn't see. But if he just TP'd in a little bit sooner and, sprouted or something, they would have actually been able to get the kill on the Beastmaster. But he was just a little bit late coming to the party, and that meant that they weren't able to get the kill, and they were able to turn it around really easy. That is, Complexity was. And that's something that Invoker is just such an insanely good hero at doing, especially as he's has almost a max Wex now. Just being able to TP in and counter gank as that hero is just insane, because the range on that tornado is so long that when you TP into the tower down there, you can literally tornado almost all the way to the river. Actually, I think with max level Wex, it probably will go just about to the river, which is just an insane distance for a disable to come in, which, isn't a disable where you can hit heroes with, but it's a disable that's going to throw them up in the air, let you guys get into position, and then set something up. Kind of similar to a Naga Siren, but, more effective.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like hopefully CLG taking the top tower. Hopefully they'll be able to take the bottom tower sometimes, because they just really got to exploit their advantage of really being able to move around the map very well. Obviously Mirana and then Nature's Prophet. They just have to be able to take these towers and try and take control of the map what they can, trying to get good ganks off. But it looks like the Mirana ult is going to go off at top. CLG is going to run in. They're going to be able to pop the ult in. Nice play, picking up the Beastmaster before you can even get an ult off or anything. They're going to now be able to pop Fluff easily. Hasted Padcat coming in. Nice little swap, but obviously it's not going to be enough. Meanwhile, in middle, Tornado, EMP going off, and just like that, Windrunner has no mana. Now, she was able to get a wind run off, so she didn't take too much damage, but so she'll be able to defend. But again, just look at him. TC just without any real fear, just pretty much diving towers, because he is so fast and just so powerful now with 4 staff. He could just press the advantage that he has and just dive towers left and right, forcing heroes back. I'm just taking that tower, 350 health. It would be really great if TC could just finish off that tower. That would really limit the mobility from the CLG team. Meanwhile, CLG trying to get what farm they can up in their jungle. Let's see if we'll pick up any items lately. Yasha now picked up on Mirana. I don't see anything real big. Beastmaster looks like he's going to be going for the mech on his team. And then other than that, I don't really see a whole lot of big pickups yet.
Yeah, they should be able to take this tower, I would imagine. Windrunner coming in to power shot and try to delay him a little bit with 4 heroes pushing here. Oh, 5 heroes pushing here. Take that back. There's no way they're not going to get this tower. And I guess this is one strength that the Juggernaut brings to a team, which is that normally that Prophet ult. Oh, actually a tornado gonna come out, gonna catch Pinoy here, and Cold Snap gonna hit. Is it gonna be enough? No, it gets the wind run off, like you said previously, so not gonna get killed there. But that just shows the distance of the initiation from Invoker. But as I was saying, against ooh. Actually, Aki, yeah, catching TC, but no, arrow's gonna fly, but not hit any. Oh no, the arrow does hit. Actually, it hits Fluff. But meanwhile, the Omni Slash is gonna go in on the Mirana. Fluff actually, oh, nice swap, actually going up the hill, so the Crystal Maiden couldn't finish him off. Really smart play there, and Jo getting the spin off, taking out the Crystal Maiden after all. So Crystal Maiden with a nice try to capitalize on the Vengeful Spirit there, but good reaction by the Vengeful Spirit. But meanwhile, Vengeful Spirit is actually still caught in the woods here. I guess Furion had TP'd in and cut her off, and Crystal Maiden actually buying back to TP back to the tower. Arrow flying out, but not going to hit anyone. Shackle Shot going to fly, not landing, but the slow from Crystal Maiden might be enough for her to get the freeze off. Yeah, it does manage to get the freeze off. Gush is going to follow, and that's going to be enough to kill Hannah. So I guess a nice buyback after all from the Crystal Maiden, turning it into one more kill on the Beastmaster, so probably worth it. And I guess they would push the mid tower, but there's not one left, so instead they're pinging Roche. There's a possibility they could take Roche here. Although Venomancer knows what's up, he's going to throw out the wards, but meanwhile he's actually going to get caught by the Gush. Furion going to TP in, does have enough mana for the Sprout, so Sprout should be coming out. Yeah, Sprout does come out now, which will bring him in range of the rest of his team. And yeah, gonna get killed. Crystal Maiden with the last hit from the Blast. Crystal Maiden, 4 points in Blast, 4 points in Frostbite, so doing a lot of damage. And they are going to set up for the Roche now. However, chasing the Venomancer did buy Complexity a little bit of time here. So it's possible that they'll be able to react in time, but I don't know. With Gush and Focus Fire level... Oh no, only one level of Focus Fire, but still, we'll see if they can take this in time.
Yeah, they're just doing way too much damage. Gush, the Gush minus armor is just so good. So it does. Oh, maybe Complexity actually coming in. If he hits a good tornado, big tornado's gonna.
Oh my God!
Maybe we can get off an EMP, but the arrow coming out. EMP, one more hit. Can they get the Roshan? Meanwhile, Pinoy's taking a lot of damage. You're just focusing on the Roshan. They're not doing anything else. Ultimate coming out from Tidehunter, and Vengeful Spirit picks up the Aegis while the Dire picks up the kill. Geo spinning in on absolutely nothing. Big Mirana ultimate coming out. So Complexity does grab the Aegis, but it is on a Vengeful Spirit, so not that big of a deal. At least CLG does pick up the Roshan kill. So really great job by Complexity grabbing that. But all around, man, big plays. Big plays by both teams.
Yeah, that was a really nice engagement. PGG is Please Go Game. Is a player, Dota, famous Dota 1 player, holy.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so earlier I was talking about the one thing that Juggernaut certainly brings is, having that healing ward when you're pushing as 5 against a team with a Furion. The Furion ult is really going to hurt a lot and kind of can slow down pushes, but when you can throw down that ward and just heals everyone up just in a few seconds from any damage that you might take from the Furion ult. So I guess that's kind of a little bit of a counterpick strategy. I mean, not necessarily that Geo is a counterpick to Furion. I'm sure there's plenty of other reasons they wanted the Juggernaut, or not Geo as a counterpick, but Juggernaut as a counterpick. But I mean, just some little synergy that certainly doesn't hurt. Wanting to push against a Furion team is always important because, Furion's always going to be pushing out the other lanes, and you're going to have to be decisive. Speaking of decisive, though, looks like action going to go on Loda here. Actually, Orchid is finished, so Orchid on Loda is meaning that Beastmaster is going to be able to chain with a stun and easily finish off Loda. I figured Loda would get out there, but I didn't realize that the Orchid was done on TC. Any other big item pickups?
No, just that recent pickup.
Fluff actually caught in the jungle by Tide and Aki. Sorry to cut you off. So actually, there's going to go the Aegis, throwing out a preemptive Sprout to make sure that Fluff is not getting out there. He does have a swap, but yeah, Shackle Shot's going to hold him, and he's going to die. However, they're almost in a bad position now. It looks like Complexity could converge, but no, it's not going to happen. CLG is just going to TP out, and they'll be fine. So yeah, sorry. Items?
No, absolutely, yeah, really well done by CLG backing up very well. Yeah, there isn't a whole lot of items left. Looks like Pycat is going to be trying to pick up an Aghanim's real fast in order to try and stop this push as much as possible. But other than that, just the typical upgraded boots. There isn't a whole lot. Hannah very close to picking up Mech. Just needs a little bit more gold for that. Another 400, and he'll have that. So countering the Windrunner Mech. Good to go. Windrunner also almost has Force Staff as well. But Invis on Hannah. No, never mind. Who looked like he was going to try and get a kill on Pinoy, but Never mind. So it looks like both teams are farming their respective jungles and lanes as much as humanly possible. Loda actually taking a little bit of EMP tornado work. Oh man, that's just so rough. I wonder how many heroes, the big counter to the EMP of course is a lot of arcane boots, and how many heroes, looks like only Tidehunter has the arcane boots on the CLG team. The rest of them have steam or phase boots. I wonder if PyCat is going to pick that up, because really, honestly, that is just so rough to deal with when you're constantly being pushed and you just have no mana every single time. You really need at least 2 different arcane boosts to be able to put a stop to the damage that EMP does do. And just as Holy mentions, Diffusal now on Juggernaut. Looks like they are going to set up for this gank in middle. Invis going off on Loda. Can they pop the Invoker this time? He has no idea. They're actually going to pop the Geo before he can even get his ult up. But a huge Fluff! Big swap coming out. What a play. What a play by Fluff. One more hit. Ake is going to go down. PyCat is also in some serious damage. He's easily going to go down. So, minimizing their losses. But man, what a counter gank coming up. Fluff barely saving Geo from a world of hurt. They almost popped him before he could even get anything off, and really Geo didn't do anything. It was just the big counter gank, but it's just the icing on the cake that they were able to save the hero that was getting ganked. A really nice idea by CLG, but really just an excellent play by Complexity countering that.
Yeah, one little thing that could have been slightly different. If you notice, Furion actually used his ult at the very end of the fight, and so I assume it was off cooldown at the beginning there. If he'd actually used his ult, it would have been just enough damage to actually finish off Geo. But I guess he either didn't realize he would need to use it, he thought they would just have the kill anyway, didn't realize the VS was so close for the swap, which was just a beautiful swap. Huge play, showing why he deserved that Aegis after all. And actually looking for another swap, but yeah, not going to catch Pinoy out. Pinoy has his 4-staff finished as well, in addition to his mech. But yeah, so if Furion had ulted there, maybe it would have been enough, but unfortunately it wasn't, and that kind of was basically what turned the fight around. Well, that and just a good counter gank in general. And actually, Complexity on the high ground here, so actually this is going to be a bad spot for CLG to be in. PyCat going to get swapped out and immediately Omni Slash. EMP goes out, so not a lot of mana left for the Tidehunter. Tidehunter's just going to run away though. Orchid did go out on the Loda, on the Mirana, but weren't able to follow it up with anything. She was far enough away. So do get the 1 kill on PyCat there, which is enough, keeping Furion down as much as possible. Especially now that he has that ult staff, it does kind of certainly help his farm a fair amount if he can use that frequently, which he's probably going to be doing because they want to stop this push as much as possible from Complexity.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that was a really big misplay by CLG. I mean, they didn't have the ultimate Tidehunter up. I know that heroes were low when they last saw him, but still, I mean, the level 3 healing ward is just too powerful. And so without a Tidehunter ult, they really can't really force fights at all. I mean, they just can't risk it right now. I mean, really one bad team fight is going to see their base taking some serious damage. So they have to play really, really cautiously. 4-staff being picked up on Windrunner. I don't think there's a whole lot else, but the aura stacking on Juggernaut is just, I mean, Juggernaut's like a mediocre or hard carry at best, but combined with the fact that he's going to have all these different auras, he's going to have Inner Beast, and then on top of that, Command Aura, and obviously the minus armor coming out from Vengeful Spirit. He's going to be able to turn what is, a mediocre hard carry to a pretty strong one with these extra auras on top of all the disables that his team's going to be providing. Obviously, Invoker being a great hero in of himself, he's going to be 900 gold away from Aghanim, so that's going to be a huge pickup. He's going to be throwing many more spells once he picks that up, so something to look out for. Just all around, Complexity is just sort of dominating the game right now with a 4,000 gold lead in 26 minutes in. Really doing work right now, but CLG has proven, I mean, especially last game, they might be behind, but they can more than certainly make up and make some really smart plays and just all around turn things around. So looks like teams farming their jungles. Looks like we're going to see a push coming in at bottom. 4 heroes at bottom while Invoker farms away on his Aghanims as hard as he possibly can.
Yeah, you were talking about getting more arcane boots to counter the MP, and you're absolutely right. And that actually made me think of something that I wanted to point out. Crystal Maiden actually going for treads over the arcane boots, and I mean, Crystal Maiden, doesn't really need treads. I mean, I guess just against a Juggernaut, she wanted the more health because she has such low movement speed. She knows she's going to get spun or Omni Slashed or caught anyway, so she wanted more health. But if you needed arcane boots on someone, I mean, it's certainly better to put it on her than the Furion, or to at least have more than one set of arcane boots.
Yeah, that is definitely a trade. CLG, kind of iffy, but the trade of more survivability on CM versus more mana for the team. We'll have to see if it plays out. I don't know. She's just so squishy. I'm not sure if that little extra strength is going to be able to help her or not. But Smoke coming out from Complexity, trying to do some whatever work they can, but nothing comes out of it.
Yeah, if you see the way the wards are set up on the map right now, CLG only has one ward up, and it's in their own jungle, whereas Complexity has wards all across the middle of the map, which just kind of shows that even though it's not at 28 minutes, not even 4,000 gold lead is, I mean, it's not an insignificant lead. It certainly is something, but it's not huge. But it just kind of shows the pace of the game, or the setting of the game right now. That is really Complexity feeling like they're on the aggressive, on the front foot, and CLG really backpedaling, trying to just wait for maybe Complexity to overextend, leave themselves an opening, and then CLG will capitalize just like they did in the end of the second game, even though it wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, I like the way Pycat is pushing. He's not staying in any lane too long, which is obviously key for Nature's Prophet side lane pushes. He's farming the jungle quite a bit, not showing himself very much, and then just using his Aghanim's ultimate to max effectiveness, trying to push the lanes as much as possible. As we see Complexity going bottom in order to defend bottom tower, they're just doing a really good job keeping the pressure away. Because the longer this game goes, the better it is for them, because right now they're really far behind. And even though I see a Juggernaut and Boker out-carrying Mirana and Nature's Prophet, I really foresee that in the 40-45 minute mark, if they can make it that long, they could start turning things around in the mid to late game. And actually, we're going to see some trades coming in. They're trying to push middle while the rest of Complexity does some work at bottom. They actually don't finish off the tower and teleport in right away. So really great job by Complexity. If they're able to survive through this, Tornado coming out, but if Miracle can still get out, it looks like they are just maybe going to be just fine. Yep. So they force 5 teleports and save their tier 2 tower. Really great play by CLG. That's a lot of gold down, a lot of teleports down for Complexity. And then on top of that, they've earned themselves a little bit of breather. They saved their tower. Now they're going to be able to back up and farm their jungle with relatively ease while Complexity pushes out top and middle. So really great play by CLG.
Yeah, if you take a look at the gold graph now, actually, you'll see that they basically halved the difference. We're on the descend in the mountain now. I'm actually really surprised that Jo didn't actually cancel his TP. He was the last TP, so he was the longest by far, and he was still at that tier 2 tower when he basically realized that CLG had all backed out. Like, I mean, I understand they have the Invoker and they have a long-range Tornado, so they think there's a chance that they might be able to catch someone and fight. But I don't know. I think I would have just been, well, I mean, I don't know. You spend all those TPs, so you really want to catch someone really badly, and you just want to make it happen. But at the same time, if he'd stayed and taken the tier 2 tower, which he certainly would have been able to do, you would have, instead of getting nothing, you would have at least gotten some sort of a consolation prize. So I guess it's give and take. But just interesting that maybe he didn't consider that.
Yeah, Aghanim's being finished up on TC, I think that was a little bit ago, but it looks like they are going to take a tier 2 tower. It's going to be the middle one. Actually, Arrow coming out on Geo, but really CLG, are they going to be able to try and dominate on this? A huge ultimate coming out. Tidehunter is not able to get off his ultimate at all. He might actually die. He gets it off just in time, but it doesn't stop Geo. He's going to get off his ultimate. Loda is going to go down. 1, 2, 3. Ake. 3 heroes go down. Complexity picks up a tier 2 tower on top of that. A huge play. What a tornado. Jumping in right as Tidehunter was about to let loose his ultimate, stopping that, then EMPing, really delaying it long enough for Geo to get some serious work in, and it looks like they're going to try and crack open the base with this. Furion trying to do what work he can with his ultimate and trees, so it is going to defend the tower, and top is actually going to push in, so they do need somebody to put a stop to that. So we're going to see a teleport back. Complexity is just going to back up and try and get some more farm. Once again, actually, Shackle Shot coming out. Pinoy they're trying to get some picks here. But unfortunately, this might turn around after the blast coming out. Miracle trying to do what work he can. He's trying to finish off Flush, but there's too much shields. too much heals, and now Miracle is going to pay for it with his life. Loda trying to do what work he can right now, but it's just nobody, too much health on everybody. Waiting on the... No, EMP is going to put a stop to the leap, so Loda can't get away. He's going to go down. Geo does get taken out, but Pinoy, he picks up that kill, so big pickup. But still, it's a 1 for 4, so 4 heroes are up, and they are pushing the tower. The only person left is Pycat, and he is just pushing the tower as best he can. He's actually going to teleport top and see if he can try and at least trade towers, but really, Complexity is going to be able to teleport back. Somebody's going to be able to get there. One tower does go down. They start working on the racks. Pinoy with the buyback. Nice shackle shot, trying to stop what little damage he can. Teleport action swap coming in. Great job by Fluff, trying to catch out Pinoy with the ice wall. They're not going to be able to get away. Pinoy taking way too much damage. He gets taken out. The melee racks 1, 2, 3. It's going to go down. Fluff is now teleporting back. Maybe they'll be able to put a stop to Pycat. Pycat cannot take the tower, so they take a tower and racks, and maybe they'll be able to catch TT. He's trying to run away as fast as humanly possible. Ake's trying to do what disables he can, but he's all out of mana. Nice. There goes the dust from Pycat. They're going to put a stop to TC's reign of godlike streak. So 2 godlike streaks down. That's a lot of gold, but they did lose a tower and a melee racks. Obviously, that's not worth it. But CLG trying to cope with what losses they've received and trying to pick up what they can. Getting a couple little picks. Great job by CLG, minimizing what losses are occurring.
I mean, I really just want to summarize that everything that just happened there by basically saying Invoker just too big. I mean, this is what I said when I saw the Invoker pick, that hero is just so imbalanced. It honestly is. And I mean, like I said, or like you were saying, from a spectator standpoint, it's one of the most fun heroes to watch, especially when he gets an Aghanims like this, he's throwing out all these spells. But his abilities are just so, I mean, specifically Tornado and EMP are just so ridiculous as far as team fights go. And I mean, he has other abilities that are good for basically every other aspect of the game too. And Deafening Blast, certainly not a slouch in team fights, or the Ice Wall. So I mean, he basically just had such a huge impact on that team fight with that giant tornado, big EMP, and the EMP just did so much because Tide wasn't able to, get the Ravage off. Tide was in a great position to Ravage, but wasn't able to do it, and he had to basically keep stalling by running away, and then eventually pop his wand to get enough mana to actually be able to get the Ravage off. But by then he was too far out of position, and it was just a little bit too late. So EMP basically deciding that fight, and then essentially the one after it. CLG trying to do their best to stall Complexity. They knew what was coming there, and after losing the fight, they had to force some buybacks. They thought they would actually be able to get a pick off and overplayed a little bit. So instead of being patient and looking for the opening, they actually gave away another opening themselves. And speaking of Tornado actually going to catch the Windrunner here, although the Venomous Gale actually comes out a little bit too soon. 4-second arrow landing on Hannah, so this actually might be a decent chance to turn things around. Unfortunately, no Shackle Shot, but a big Ravage from the Tide. Tide does have a blink now. Deafening Blast going to come in, but not really hitting too much. Meanwhile, Crystal Maiden and Pycat finishing off the Invoker. Jo in the middle of the fight, going to turn around and hit the Windrunner a few times before she dies. Fluff stunning Miracle. Miracle actually running for his life, and basically in the blink of an eye, Jo and Miracle have Jo and Fluff have turned this fight around. I actually thought that was going in the way of CLG, but I was just dead wrong.
Yeah, Geo's just way too big. I mean, the Manta images pretty much cleaned up Ake by themselves. Man, just CLG, I mean, how it was a good fight for them. They're so far behind that a 2 for 4 is obviously not great, but it's the best that they can really do right now. And if they're able to defend this tower, all the better. Pycat just waiting on his ultimate, couple more hits, and that attack animation is obnoxious from Geo. Starfall, Starstorm coming out. Pipe being popped, so they're manning up. They're manning up on this Rex. They took the tower, and they're going to man up on the melee Rex, and well as they should. Now they just have to worry about getting picked. Pycat is going to try and pick up what heroes he can. Nice swap by Fluff, trying to save Hannah as much as possible. So if they can minimize it to just Vengeful Spirit dying, that is great. Really great swap coming out, saving the rest of his heroes, but Hannah is not going to get away. He's going to get gone out. So they pick up 2 heroes in exchange for a tower and melee racks. Again, pretty much just minimizing your losses. It's not how you win, but it is a step to coming back into the game. Beastmaster and Vengeful Spirit both buying back, identifying that Roshan is going to get gone on here. CLG going to try and transfer 2 picks into a Roshan, but now they can't. With the buybacks, they can't force a 5-on-5. And so now CLG back to their base once again, searching for a way to come back into this game.
Ooh, Miracle actually blinking out, but might still get caught anyway. Geo just running so fast. Well, Aki's definitely going to die, but at least that's a better thing to lose than Miracle. The Crystal Maiden going down, but not the Tidehunter. But this is going to definitely be a complexity Roche. There's no way that CLG can respond to this, other than by having Pycat push out the top lane. But it's not going to be enough. The Roche is just going to go down so fast. Like you said, Geo just so big. Such a quick Roshan kill. Looking maybe for a snipe by Loda, but no, even Loda didn't expect that to go down so fast. And so there's no way Pycat's actually really going to do anything here, and this is just going to further extend the lead that Complexity has. Yeah, I don't know. The other thing with these team fights that have been lost versus the team fights they were winning earlier on, one of the main differences actually is the shackle shots. And I mean, in the earlier team fights, they were landing some shackle shots on 2 heroes, but in these past couple team fights, there really haven't been many successful shackle shots. Only a couple latching even someone to a creep or something, and basically no shackle shots latching 2 people. So I guess that is the one thing. When you're only winning team fights because you get shackle shots, you kind of live by the shackle shot and die by the shackle shot, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, that it's sort of the ending reign right now. That I see when the lineup originally occurred, I saw really one big opening, and that was sort of the mid to late game, which is right now for CLG. I foresaw them trying to end the game before Juggernaut and Invoker get too big, but really it's just Complexity has too much farm right now with the Aegis plus another 5k on Invoker, and on top of that, multiple auras on Geo on the Juggernaut. Well, now with the Vlad's pickup by the Venomancer, he is doing serious work, and even though Invoker is doing more damage, eventually Juggernaut is going to get some serious damage items, and then once you put Alacrity on him, it's just going to be just so much work. So both heroes just outputting a massive amount of damage, and CLG just trying to find what way they can to stop it. Pycat is pushing bottom as hard as he can, see if they could take a tier 2 tower in exchange for this push. If they could take the tier 2 tower and defend the push, that's a win for them. A little bit of influx of gold, but they have to make something big happen, and a shackle shot could have been something big, but unfortunately, nice push by TC getting out of the way. Tornado coming in, nice dodge by both heroes. So Pycat just waiting, he's just trying to push, keep pushing, just waiting for the main fight to occur, and meanwhile he's just going to try and do some damage to the tier 2 tower as much as possible, while Complexity is lining up for their final push of the game. If CLG cannot defend this push, it's all over for them. And they will go down to the losers bracket, forced to fight Mouse. Actually, Tornado coming out, leaping out of the way, dodging both the Tornado and a potential Geo ult coming in. And here comes the main push. Miracle hitting a huge ultimate, blinking in, hitting 4 heroes. Fluff gets a nice swap, saving Geo from the incoming damage, and now comes the Geo ultimate doing some serious work. Everybody taking a lot of damage, nobody going down, but Loda gets a with 29 health, but no, he goes down as well. Missiles coming out. Ake is taking damage, he's not going to get away. So 3 heroes dead, 5 heroes up. Pycat buying back, trying to defend, but still it's only 2 heroes up for CLG. They're trying to put a stop to 5 heroes, and that's just way too much. So now Pino is going to get taken out. Ake buys back, but he is not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah, basically perfect initiation from CLG in that fight, but it just wasn't enough. I mean, you got an amazing tide ult there for off the blink, and led into a really nice shackle shot on 2 heroes. But Complexity just too far ahead. I mean, Pycat managed to get in the back and take down TC, but it didn't matter. TC had the Aegis, so maybe not the best priority target anyway. But it just didn't really matter. Complexity just too far ahead at the start of that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was just pretty much a snowball effect was the name of this game. Every single time Complexity just had a little bit too much farm, so every single team fight went their way. More and more and more. But, alright, so guys, Complexity is the winners of the winners bracket, so they're going to go on to the finals as the winners. But meanwhile, CLG, with such a strong showing they had this game, I really hope they make it through the losers bracket and we see a rematch between these 2 teams. CLG had some really great fights. I mean, they took to game 1 really well. They had a chance at game 2. They even though they were so far behind, they showed really strongly and almost came back in game 2, and then in the end they did lose game 2 and 3, so they're going to go down. But we'll stick with this, guys. We'll be coming back next week with the losers brackets finals, and then on top of that, the finals. So please come back, visit us. Give us some comments, give us whatever you want, whatever criticisms, whatever you got. Just give us some stuff so we can keep hosting tournaments like this. Hari, do you got any last words?
Well, I just want to give a huge thanks for making games like this possible to our sponsors once again, SteelSeries, Twitch TV, and TeamSpeak. If it wasn't for them putting forth the money to support this tournament, we wouldn't be able to get to watch amazing games from amazing teams like this. So pretty much just thanks to them, and thanks to the teams for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys didn't notice, we missed tonight's game. We didn't have streamers, so I want to give a shout out to you guys before you leave. Please, if you're interested in cameramanning, especially cameras, we need cameras as much as possible. But any staff, we're going to